This is a little bit last minute, but good to see you. I'm just going to wait for a few seconds because usually I start talking right away. And then people are like, oh, I missed something. And I have a weird setup right now. I'm using like fake light and I have a microphone now. So please, 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 please let me know in the comments if you can hear me. That would be great. But if anybody is here, Happy New Year, Happy Almost New Year. Happy New Year / Happy Almost New Year. Isn't that so weird? Some people, right now it is New Year's, and sometimes right now it's not. And you still have like half a day left until it's New Year's. But hello, hello. I'm just trying to give it a little bit of time. So if you're watching the playback, you can fast forward to like 1 minute or one more minute. We'll give it till 1:30. But how are you guys doing? It's good to see you guys. I've been so sick. I still am. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice. I'm still sick. I've been sick since a little bit before Christmas, like the day before Christmas, I want to say I've been sick. And I lost my voice. Started in my throat. My throat hurt so bad to say anything. And then eventually had a really bad fever. And then eventually the fever got worse and I just felt horrible and I was in bed for like 2 days. And then it's like slowly migrated up to my nose-ish area, but I'm feeling better. I'm able to come on here. I wanted to come on here and say Happy New Year or Happy Almost New Year. Happy New Year to you. Do you guys have plans? What's going on? Wow, this is the last video / live stream of 2021 in like American time. The algorithm or the YouTube system knows that I'm an American, and so they treat it as if today is still 2021. So we will consider it still 2021, even if the other side of the world it's New Year's. But how are you guys doing? Let me know if you can hear me. I really need to know if you can hear me or not because I'm using an external microphone, which is off here to the side, which is causing that shadow. But I decided to try to up the audio. So let me know if you can hear me. And I just wanted, the main reason I wanted to come on here, I can't stay long usually. You can hear me well. Thank you. I've been curious to know if you can hear me or not. But thank you, Pita. Thank you, thank you. And Jay, hello everybody. Happy New Year. Hi, Juliana. Hello, wonderful people. The main reason I wanted to come on here for one last video is because I genuinely 2021. You get on any kind of social media, right? And everybody has got these little recap videos. And an old friend of mine, her name's Amy, she posted something on Instagram of like not for everyone was 2021 this amazing year. And even the people who post those like little fancy recap videos, I don't even think 2021 was great for all those people. They just post it because it looks aesthetically pleasing and it can go viral on Instagram and they can get all the follows and the likes. But I just wanted to come on here and be honest about my 2021 and talk about how 2021 was quite literally the best and worst year of my life. And a lot of people are like, oh, she's dramatic. It really was. The beginning of 2020, before the pandemic had come to America, I was already going through a lot of extreme, hard, difficult times. I basically lost a career opportunity, not because I wanted to. It was just like I had to stop this career that I thought I was going to do for the rest of my life. I was living overseas as a missionary, and I kind of had to stop that. Hi, Karen. Hello. Happy New Year. I will stay safe. I am still sick, so I'm not doing all that much. But yeah, so I lost this big career opportunity, kind of. That's like a really around the bush way to word it. But 2020 started off really hard, and then the pandemic hit, and then it got hard for a lot of us. And Happy New Year. Thank you so much. Happy New Year to you too. So 2020 was difficult for all of us. I think we all thought, let's go 2021. 2021 is going to be the year, right? It couldn't be as bad as 2020 was. And I started off 2021 very lost, very sad, confused. I still felt like I didn't have motivation or I didn't have purpose in my life. I didn't really know what the direction was for my future. But 2021 is also when I just said, you know what? I'm going to Korea. I've saved up my whole life. I always save so I can travel, save so I can travel. I've saved up so much money at this point and I want to go somewhere and like live abroad. I want to live overseas for, some amount of time. And I finally convinced myself in March that I think I'm gonna go, but I was still hesitant. And then my friend was like, "Girl, I quit my job. I got this bonus. We're going." And so next thing you know, it's mid-March. I literally bought my ticket at like the beginning of March and I left mid-March, moved to South Korea, had a very not great trip the first time I was in South Korea, I'm gonna be honest. It wasn't the best. Very lost, still very much didn't know what my purpose was, but I loved making videos. I've always loved making videos. I've always enjoyed editing videos. It's just been something that like I have so many privated videos on this account from when I was little and I would make backstage passes into like these theater shows I was in. Like here's me in this or I was a zombie in this one. I was Mrs. Potts. I've played I've done so much theater my whole life. I privated a lot of that, but maybe one day I can just like open all of it so you guys can like for 24 hours explore. But I only knew that Korea was a good opportunity to make videos to show people, but I was like, I don't even know what videos I would make. And then I had the whole PCR testing process just went horribly. I did not Oh my gosh. I was told the wrong information. I almost got stranded in Germany and had to like potentially quarantine there. It was a mess. And so I was like, I want to make a video so that people don't get like left in Germany or don't get stuck and know what to do. Make this video. And as I upload that, I'm in quarantine at this point still. And as I upload that, I was like, oh, I would have loved to have a video on customs, Korean customs too. So let me make another video on this customs thing because I had recorded the process just in case someone else did have any questions. I thought maybe I could make a video on it, end up making a video on Korean customs. And then we get out of quarantine, and I kid you not, we are standing outside of the bus with our luggage, and we're like, so we need to get a taxi. But how do we get a taxi? Like my friend and I just looked at each other like, I don't know how to get a taxi. And we didn't know how to pay for it. Assumed that you would go up to some said street and be like, hi, taxi people. Like we we assumed, but for some reason we didn't think to like figure that out in advance. So randomly, there was this sweet girl who was also an American who also had come to Korea a few times. We're like, do you know how to get a taxi? And she's like, oh yeah, you're gonna need a T-Money card. Let me show you how to get a T-Money card. Showed us how to get it. And so I ended up just starting to make these videos of like, well, I didn't know this. So that means that somebody else probably also didn't know this. And I figured, why the heck not keep making these videos to help other people. And again, I love making videos. So I knew how to edit, I knew how to do a lot of that stuff. And it's been really amazing that such a dark season of my life went from having so much unclarity, so much uncertainty. I just knew things about myself that I wanted to be true. I wanted to be accepted and loved for who I was, and I wanted to love other people well because I felt like I had lacked a lot of love as far as like friend love. My parents have always loved me well, but friendly love, people caring about me, continuing to reach out for me, to me, I felt like I lacked a lot of that. So I wanted to love other people well and make sure that no one felt left out if possible, or people felt like stressed out traveling. I wanted to try to help with that as much as possible. So that's what birthed this channel, and, my subscriber count is just at 3,000 subscribers, which I have it hidden if you're watching this. Maybe you didn't care, but when I moved to South Korea in March and I uploaded my first video, I had 40 subscribers, I believe, from just I had made a few videos and some people found them and were like, "Oh, you're funny," like, or "I like that video, I'll subscribe." But I only had 40 subscribers. So by the end of this year, to become monetized and actually be able to start making money on a platform that I love, and now I'm putting my whole effort into this whole YouTube thing. I'd love to be able to do it more so full time in the future. But to, like, now to think of, the beginning of 2021 Megan, who was so lost and so hurt and felt so alone, to now have people, like, reach out to me on Instagram asking me these questions, and they're like, "Thank you so much. You've helped calm so much of my anxiety, like, as I make my way to Korea," or, "Oh my gosh, you answered this PCR test question. Thank you so much. I didn't know what it was." Or people being like, "Hey, if you have time, I'd love to get coffee." And I'm like, "You wanna get coffee with me?" Like, I don't think you guys understand how much all of those messages mean to me when I was in such a lonely and sad state. And don't get me wrong, I still had friends. I wasn't, like, completely alone. I wasn't a complete loser. But I definitely was quite lonely and hurt. And so as far as 2022 goes, I just hope that we can all have a better year than we did the prior year, and I hope that that is just like a trend that we can all keep, is that we have a better year, and I think your better year will have a lot to do with your mindset, and I think it's easy for us to think negatively on, years, and so I'm trying to look back at 2021 that did have a lot of confusion and pain and heartache and heartbreak and all of that stuff, and look at it as like, "Wow, it birthed this channel that is now like my favorite part of my day is interacting with you guys, editing these videos." So I just want to say thank you so much if you have subscribed. Thank you so, so, so much, because this is, yeah, my everything right now. Thank you so much for every comment, every like. If you watch any of my ads, that helps my channel as well. There's like a support. I have like two ways that you can support me financially if you want to, no pressure at all, but it should be linked down below. It's called Ko-fi, which is you can buy me a cup of coffee. I edit my videos in cafes, and that's basically how I'm surviving right now. Is um, I worked a lot, I save up a lot, I try to work online when I can, and then I run around like a chicken with my head cut off and work when I come to America, and then I go back and I come to Korea, and then I just work really hard on YouTube because it does provide me some financial something. But yeah, so I just went in a circle, didn't I? I was really excited to get on here because I finally have a voice again, and I should have maybe thought this out a little bit more. My apologies. But I just wanted to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for all of your support, for meeting you guys, for loving me well. I mean, even Karen, you said stay safe, and I know you sent me an Instagram message where you said that as well, and it meant a lot to me that you even thought of me. So you have no idea what anybody is going through. You have no idea where someone is in their life. You don't know how broken somebody is. You have no idea where somebody is at. So, any message that you can send to anybody, if you feel like anybody comes to your mind when you think of, like, oh, I haven't checked in on them in a while, or I wonder how their year is, or I wonder how the next year is going to be, um, send them a message, because you have no idea what someone's going through, and you have no idea how much they maybe need to hear just a hello. So, thank you for saying hello to me, is what I want to say. Now go love someone else and say hello to them as well. And also, if you guys have any questions of anything at all about me or about South Korea, please ask. I always like to answer any questions, as you guys know. Um, I'm reading the comment. I put your Korean comment into Papago because my Korean is decent enough that I can pick out words, but I don't know it enough yet to be able to read it fluently. So in English, you said, um, it's hard for foreigners to settle down because they don't know Korea. I try to make videos to help people who maybe don't know Korea and try to explain to my best of my ability from my, foreigner perspective, uh, things that I wish I knew or how to get around. And um, so I try my best to just help people. I am not Korean. I don't know everything, but thankfully I do have Korean friends who I always check in with or ask questions of if I don't know anything, for sure, or I want to clarify. But I do have a lot of traveling under my belt. I've traveled and lived in 10 different countries. So I do have maybe a little bit of an advantage than the average person of what it means to travel, what I would pack, what you should know before going to a country. And I really love Korea, but I plan to make a video on things I love about Korea and things I hate about Korea. So I hate is a strong word. Things I really dislike or are difficult for me as an American to adjust to. Maybe they're very normal for Koreans. I plan to make those videos because I think that that would be really insightful to a lot of people who want to know more about Korea. Thank you for your subscription. Thank you for subscribing, Brian. I'm going to Korea in a few days. Your videos help me so much. I'm so, so, so glad. I'm so glad. I'm glad you found my channel. Happy New Year to you too, sweet Jin. Can people vaccination in foreign countries get a QR code? So if you are vaccinated abroad and you're coming to Korea and you are on a short-term visa, which is a tourist visa, which means it's going to be 90 days or less, you can go to you're going to want to watch the last video that I made where it's talking about the vaccine like I'm pretty positive it is called like vaccine verification. Let me look it up and I can just throw it into the chat really quick so you can watch that. How to verify your vaccination. Get a shareable link. How to verify your vaccination in South Korea. This is the video. I hope I can put that there. That's the video that you would want to watch. I left like a dot 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 ending to that of like I'm gonna go myself and go get my vaccine verification myself, and for like a tourist person, and I did, and I have content. I haven't had a voice until today, and I've been wanting to record it and update you guys, but I've been in my bed. I have been in my bed. You can on a tourist visa go and get your vaccine verified. You will not be getting a QR. It is impossible for you to get a QR code unless you are on a long-term visa and have an ARC card. ARC is an alien registration card. I always say ARC card, but I mean ARC, alien registration card. It's just for some reason the card pops in there twice. But you are going to want to go to in the description of this video I just posted, there's going to be like a link at the bottom of all the health like gurus that you can go to and get your verification. I really recommend you go to Gangnam. My friend, I have had two friends now that tell me that they went to this one in Gangnam, and I'm gonna put this in the video as well. The next video that I make that explains how to get it verified for sure as a tourist. My friend went to, I wonder if I can copy and paste this address. Can I copy and paste this into the chat? Is that allowed? How do I can text myself. I'm going to try to text myself and hope that this pops up on my computer. But if you go to this one that I'm going to post here, the address, if you go to this one, I know that you will walk out on that day, this address. You go to this GU in Gangnam, it doesn't matter if you're on a tourist visa, which one you go to. But if you go to this one, you will walk out with the sheet of paper that will be like your QR code to get into restaurants that day. In my past videos, I've been linking one that's in Mapgo, I believe. Mapgo? I don't remember how to say it at this moment. But they told me when I went and tried to clarify things that it's going to take like 2 to 3 days to get your piece of paper because they have to give you like a temporary ARC number to your identity. But this one in Gangnam, two of my friends have gone and they walked out with everything being settled that day. So if you go to that address, you bring your passport, or you bring your passport and then you bring your documents that show you were vaccinated. They will then print you off a piece of paper. Eventually, I would go as early as you possibly can. I want to say they open up at like 9, 8 or 9. I would get there as soon as you can, because they both said there were a limited number of numbers, and then they stopped taking people after a certain time. But I probably assume that they're just taking like a lunch break. But either way, get there as soon as possible. And you will be able to walk out with a sheet of paper that you will show people when you get into restaurants, as in, like, this is my I am vaccinated paperwork. Sadly, I'm also hearing that some restaurants are still turning people away with that piece of paper because it doesn't say what, like, when you were vaccinated. It doesn't say your vaccination date. And so they're wanting to make sure that you were vaccinated within like a certain amount of time, or boosted in a certain amount of time, because supposedly it's safer to get boosted. And if you're not boosted, that would mean that it's like basically the vaccine eventually wears off. So at least it's something, right? The piece of paper gets you into most places. I just know that some places are being pretty stingy, or very selective with who they let in still. And they can, because it's their business and they're allowed to do it. It's their business and they can do what they want to. Do what they want to. I can't sing. My throat is so bad. I went, it's their business and they'll do what they want to. I can't sing right now. Usually I can hold a pitch, not today. I hope that answered your question. MPL Golf. I hope that answered your question. Happy New Year. How was the end of the year in Korea? End of the year, Korea's cold, by the way. It's cold. It's cold, cold. But end of the year, I've been sick. So that's how we're rolling into 2022. Still sick, but thankfully I have my voice back, which is why I wanted to go live one last time to say I appreciate you guys and love your support so much, because I hope YouTube can be something I do in the future for a long time. And I would love for it to be like a full-time job. That would be great at some point in my life. Please, Lord. Seriously. I will introduce your channel to my friends who want to come to Korea. It's very informative. Thank you so much, Peter. That means so much to me. I want to help as many people as I can. I'm currently in self-quarantine for 10 days, even though I am Korean. Yep. Everybody has to quarantine in Korea. All people, no matter if they're vaccinated or unvaccinated. And now they extended the rules where you have to, until I believe it's the 16th of January, we still have the same rules that we've had with 4 people max together. And then curfew 9 p.m. for most places. But it's okay. It's for everybody's safety. And this new variant is no joke. America is extremely, extremely, extremely sick right now. Almost everybody's sick. And a lot of my friends are like, no tests anywhere. Like, you can't get tested anywhere. There's not enough tests. So Korea's just trying to be safe, and I understand. No New Year's plans. Well, I'm sick, so there's not much I can do when I'm sick. Because I had to go to business trip and came back recently. I hope that quarantine goes quickly for you, Brian. I'm sorry that you had to quarantine, but it's for everybody's safety, which I'm sure you know. Happy New Year to you too. Hopefully 2022 will be even better for you. Thank you so much, Stardust. Ooh, pretty. On what visa are you now? I remember you were working on changing your tourist visa to another visa, I think. Whole video. Once I figure that out, once I figure all my visa stuff out, I'll make a whole video on it. I am most likely, it's so hard to say. So that's why I'm like, do I talk about it now? Would I like to have done an entertainment visa? Was I coming to Korea in hopes that I could do an entertainment visa? Yes. Am I realizing that maybe entertainment visa is not good right now when I am still a small channel and the amount of money they expect you to make as a entertainment visa holder is incredibly high for someone that is small, like a small YouTuber like me. I do acting, so I could still take acting jobs, but it's really hard to imagine myself at this state of my YouTube journey to be able to have the entertainment visa. But that doesn't mean in the future that I wouldn't be able to. So I'm hopeful. But yeah, I'll make a whole video on visas and my visa and my current situation once it's figured out. But right now, I just have a lot of it's looking like it's going in this direction, but it's not official. And I don't like saying things until they're official. For a month-long stay, is it better to stay in an Airbnb versus a hotel? I think Airbnb is so much better. You can get a good deal on an Airbnb. The longer you stay, at like the 1 month mark, it literally has to be exactly a month, by the way. It can't be like a little bit less. At the 1 month mark, they'll give you a huge discount at most Airbnbs if you're staying for like that long. And then if you are going to stay in an Airbnb and you're interested in maybe spending a little bit less, you can message me on Instagram and I can give you my tactic, I guess, on how I usually get the price lowered even more on Airbnb. You can always message them in Airbnb and ask for a discount. But there's another way that usually I do it if you want to message me on Instagram and ask me about that, Karen. But I definitely recommend Airbnb because it can be like a home and you can have a place to cook and you can have a fridge that's a nice size. And I usually, that's the way I save the most money is I would make sure I was making one of my meals and I was going to the grocery stores, buying in like bulk, bringing it back, like buying this huge thing of eggs. I would eat eggs like every morning, buying a huge thing of kimchi, eating that with my eggs every morning. So I think it's just more homey and it's more enjoyable to be in an Airbnb because it feels like you're home rather than a hotel. Usually there's not a place to cook and it just feels like not your place as much. Kind of feels like quarantine. So that's just my personal preference. Melvin, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you too. Where do you get all this information? You sound like you have a lot of information on the situation of Korea. So I research it for my YouTube channel. And then I have friends, if I don't understand something or I want more clarity, I will use like the Korean government websites as well for more information. My friends will also help me translate if I'm confused, which I'm so, so, so appreciative of. But yeah, I usually just follow a lot of government pages and I um, try to just look at different websites and see what is the latest up-to-date information. Ding. Brian, nice voice. It sounds I feel like it sounds real funny. I haven't been talking this much in a while because I haven't been able to talk. Countdown to my spring trip has begun. Ooh, ooh. I'm so excited for you. I'm assuming we're talking about Korea, but spring, if it is Korea, Korea is beautiful. The cherry blossoms are just stunning. That's definitely one of my favorite times of year is the cherry blossom season. Everybody probably would say the same, but I love spring and fall so much in Korea. So I'm so excited for you. How long are you going to be in Korea? I'm flying tomorrow to Seoul and going out of quarantine on my birthday on January 12th. Happy birthday! Happy birthday! Or happy early birthday. How long am I going to be? There's a lot of Hi Daniel. There's a lot about Korea right now for me that is so unknown. So when I have things more finalized, I will let you guys know. Everything is so up in the air. All I know is that I want to live in Korea for at least a few years. That would be wonderful. Yes, message me, Karen, again. Adele, hi, hello. Finally glad to have caught a live. Hi. I'm glad you were able to catch a live too. I'm so excited. I love New Year's, so I'm so awake right now. I'm just like, "Woo!" I love New Year's. It's my favorite holiday. My family always has a lot of like big traditions, and so New Year's has always held a really special place in my heart. But sadly, I do have to go kind of soon because I still it's late. So, and my throat is still not in like good enough condition to talk for too long. So any questions, ask them now before it's too late. Thank you for the video on going out to restaurants alone. As someone who wants to go to Korea to teach English, I was concerned about going out alone. I am very, very glad that you found that. That's one of my favorite videos that I've made, and also like one of I think the most important videos that I've made because it is something that people don't know about. They don't maybe expect it to be weird to eat alone in Korea, but like I love the experience of going out to eat because it's how I feel like I learn Korean a little bit more is you get put in those stressful circumstances. In that video, I got so lucky. Like I was so ready to like speak the basic Korean that I know and order in Korean and all this stuff. And then this wonderful, sweet woman knows English. I was like, like usually you're not going to be like, what would you like recommend in English? So it was just really, really, it was such a sweet video. I love that video. But I'm glad you found it informative. Happy New Year to you too, Daniel. Thank you. Um, Super informative. So glad. I hope you get better soon and keep safe from COVID at all time. Hope to have a good memory while you stay here. Thank you so much. Good night. Chanja, chanja, chanja. I'm so bad. If you guys see me trying to read and speak at the same time, I can't. I don't know why I try. I never can do it. Congrats, yes, to the trip. I should take that step as well soon. Everybody needs to take that step. I know. Happy New Year to you too. I know. Happy New Year to so many people. Wow. Hello. Hello. A lot of love from India. Oh, thank you so much. Have a blessed New Year to you guys too. Um, a lot of people are like, should I come to Korea? Like, is now the time to come? I mean, obviously now is not like the prime time to come to Korea, but I think if you have the money, you have that desire, and you have a flight or you have the opportunity in front of you, you can still have an amazing experience in Korea. It's just the sad part is that it might not be like normal Korea, but there's still so much to see, so much to do. I still think that anybody can come here and love their trip. Maybe it is not the Korea, like people will be like, oh, you didn't get to see the Korea or like the way things used to be. Yeah, and that sucks. But you can also have a great time and you can meet amazing people and have such a life-changing experience. So, if it's like a now or never, go. If it's like a now or later, I guess both are still good, but if it's gonna be like a if I don't go now, I'm not sure if I'm gonna go later, definitely go now. I think, a lot of people keep pushing it off and then they never end up going because like life happens or you get married or you get pregnant, all that stuff. Hi, Marlena. So yeah, I just think it's better to go than to have not gone. And if you have the opportunity to go, so many people wish they could go. So many people wish they could be in your shoes. So um please, please, by all means, just go for it, I think it's so important to go for it. Why Korea and not Japan? That's a really good question. So I don't know much about K-pop. I only ever knew BTS and GOT7. Those are the only two groups that I ever knew. And I was I found okay, it's a good story. So we should just share it, but this might be one of the last questions that I answer because it is it is like not it's a long answer, so I'll give you the short version. But basically, I was in China and there was a Korean couple that lived not that far away from me, but they opened up a cafe right near my house. And they were also missionaries. And I was like, oh my gosh, I want to support them. I want to love on them. And so I tried to learn a little bit of Korean because I knew they were Korean. And the cafe was beautiful. I was like, why is this cafe so pretty? And they're like, oh, Korean cafe culture is like really like a thing. And so I got to know them a little tiny bit, like just really saw their heart for the Lord. And it meant so much to me to see these people also, like pick up their life and even put this cafe for like God's glory. I loved that. And so I was like, where is this South Korea on a map? And then that's when I found out my friend was into BTS. And I did like K-pop for like a little bit, but that was in like 2019. Um, what really made me want to come to Korea was like Korea kept getting placed in my life. I wasn't really like going for Korea, if that makes sense. I randomly, start taking an acting class in America, and randomly get assigned a partner who's this Korean guy. And I was like, oh, like I know a little bit about Korea. I had a ticket when I lived in China to go to Korea, but that got canceled. Um, I was like, "I'm kinda interested in the Korean language, like, do you know of any classes?" And he was like, "Oh, my sister teaches Korean." And then I moved into this new apartment, I typed in jobs near me, closest job to me was a Korean barbecue. I was like, "I wanna be a server, it says they make a lot of money, okay, I'll go do Korean barbecue." I don't even know what Korean barbecue is, but I'll go give it a try. I made friends in this Korean class, some who are on here right now, I love you so much, I miss you so much. Um, Met up with them and we went out to eat, and then I ended up coming to Korea with one of those friends from my class. So Korea just kept getting placed in my life, and now I feel really called to be in Korea, mostly obviously like YouTube wise, but um I am a Christian, and so Korea used to be a very like Christian nation, and now the younger generation is kind of straying away. And whether or not someone comes to become a Christian is not like that means a lot to me, but I want to have the opportunity to love on people. And um, when you live overseas, you have such a rare opportunity to be able to love on people in like a different way. People usually listen to you a little bit more because like there's something they can learn from you, and then there's something I can learn from them. And so to have this like rich cultural exchange, I love living overseas. So Korea was not a place that I picked. It just felt like God kept putting it in my life. And then when I went and I saw like how so many of the young generation, like my age and then like a little bit younger than me, were still so like sad and hurt, and like the suicide rate is really high. And to see like the pressure that a lot of just Asian countries have on testing and like schooling, and uh, there's not a lot of like it's morphine, but there's not a lot of individuality in a lot of Asian countries. And so I love the opportunity to like go up to someone and tell them that they matter. Like, no, you yourself matter. Your brother, your sister, they matter too, but you matter and you are loved. It's such a beautiful opportunity to be able to do that overseas. And in America, like when you go from person to person and you try to love on them in that same way, usually there's a lot of like stiff armed, kind of like, I don't know, people are so individualistic here that they maybe don't listen to other people. But in these collectivist communities, societies where like the group is thought of, usually you think of others more than you think of yourself. Like you care for other people so well, but you forget to love yourself. I love to bring my little like individualistic side of things to a country that is the opposite of me, and then we learn from each other. Really long-winded answer. I'm so sorry. You probably weren't expecting that, but I guess the short version is God put it on my heart to go. I love helping people through YouTube. I hope I can continue to do that. I hope I can continue to love on you. And yeah, I hope I can answer your questions, all that good jazz. But there's also like a greater, I feel like a calling that I have now to be in Korea. So that's why I want to stay. I want to stay. I want to help more people, love on more people, learn from more people. And yes, I'm going to read a few of these last comments and then I have to get going soon as well. I also just don't have any interest for Japan. Nothing against Japan. I just don't know anything about Japan. I don't watch anime. I don't really watch TV ever. I really like to like read books or study like the Bible, study I try to study Korean, but I really care a lot about YouTube, and editing takes a long time. Takes a long time. Honestly, I was obsessed with Japanese culture for a while, mostly because of yeah, so anime, like, if people like anime, they really love Japanese culture. I've never watched anime, but, like, maybe 2 episodes. I'm so sorry. I haven't watched many Korean dramas either. I've only watched, like, 4 or 5, and I didn't finish 2 of them. So, I'm just not a huge TV person. I get distracted really easily, and if I don't binge watch the show, I don't finish it. So, glad to see you, Tom. This Happy New Year! I came on here at a little bit of a different time to hopefully see a few more people on here. Pineapple on pizza. Wow, starting a controversy off right there. I don't mind it. I don't mind pineapple on pizza. I'm going to be honest. Now or never for sure. And you're a Christian too. Wonderful. Thank you so much for wishing me best of luck. So many delicious foods out there. Enjoy. I so much to enjoy, truly. Um, but anyways, I have to get going. I'm kind of tired, but I still have some stuff I have to get done. I just wanted to come on here again and say thank you so much. If you guys didn't watch the beginning of this video, then maybe go back and rewatch it because I was just coming on here to say thank you. And what 2021 has not been an easy year. It has been very difficult in many ways, but it did birth this YouTube channel that means so much to me. All of your support, subscriptions, all that jazz. Um, I see every comment, I see every direct message, and they all mean the most to me. So, cheers to 2022. I don't have anything near me I don't have anything drinkable near me, but cheers to 2022. Cling chime. And I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful year. Um, if it's not New Year's where you are, stay safe. Please, please, please stay safe and stay healthy. I know that this dang virus is going around like crazy. Um, Message me on Instagram if you have any questions. That is per usual. There's also good links in the description. All the stuff I always say, it's all linked below. But I will see you guys in the next one. Happy New Year! Annyeong! Bye bye.